Meanwhile, while we come on board, let's introduce ourselves. And you can either unmute yourself or you just introduce yourself on the chat section, your name, your institution, or your or what you do, just as we're waiting for others. Thank you. Please introduce yourself. You can unmute yourself, and when you want to talk, you can unmute yourself to introduce yourself. Thank you. Then so that you can be able to introduce them. I think you should unmute them so that they can unmute them so they can introduce themselves. They are trying to unmute, but it's not. Please, you can unmute yourself. So sorry, we have rectified.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Good afternoon.
This is Marco Ghana from Bingham University, librarian working with Bingham University Library.
Please, we can't hear you. Speak up, please.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hello, please speak.
I think it's louder now.
Low.
Is it low? Are you hearing me now?
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
I can hear you, but it's still very low.
Hello? Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Please go on.
Yeah, but she's complaining that she can't hear me. That's what
I think it's from I think it's from my end. I mean, your voice is it's louder.
Yeah, welcome. The voice is very low, but you're welcome. Thank you for joining the class.
Thank you for having me here.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, my name is Christian Okweji. I'm a librarian at Library Technology Limited in Lagos. It's a library solutions company. And then I work basically as a business development librarian there, handling all the library projects over here in Lagos. Thank you.
Nice to have you here.
Christian, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Get back to the ICT department. It's this low volume from our end. Because
Yeah.
everyone that is talking, I can't hear them very clearly.
So I think it's on your end. Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Ayet from Federal Ministry of Education.
You're welcome, sir.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you very much for joining the class. Okay, now that we are on board, I don't know if you're not clearly or you just say something. I don't know why everybody's voice is low. So if you can't hear me, just indicate on the chat section.
Actually, we can hear you clearly. So I think it's fine.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, very clearly,
Yes,
loud
I
and
hear
clear.
you. Very clear.
Okay. Thank you. Good day, everyone. Good evening. Your time zone. Welcome to this class. I really appreciate everyone's understanding based on what happened yesterday, and we're still here on time. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your presence. Welcome to today's digital literature of institutional repository. Last week, our facilitator took us through the theory part of this section, and this week will be practical, which we started from yesterday, but because of the battery level, we had to shift it to today. My name is Mirabel, your moderator for today. By now we should all be acquainted to the rules. If you are not talking, you mute so that the background can be clear and we can hear everybody and anybody that is speaking at the moment. Then if you have any question or you have any observation, you can make use of the chat section or you raise your hand up for you indicate so that we can give you audience. We'll have to wait for some time for our facilitator, but before then, I don't know if everyone was in the class yesterday. If everyone here was here yesterday, let's discuss what we've learned so far. Maybe one of us here can just give us a breakdown of what we learned, so our facilitator will come on board. Thank you.
Yeah, all right. So yesterday's lecture, before we got cut off by the power stuff, our lecturer, Mr. Elijah, talked about Dspace, and Dspace, as we all know, is an institutional repository, and then it is actually used by mostly academic institutions to upload their local or let's just say their scholarly documents that are emanating from the institution. And then he went on to talk about the schemas, the breakdown of the institutional repository, although we are actually using Dspace, but he didn't make mention of how Dspace installation, because it's going to take a lot of time. But I was expecting him to at least probably give us a link or give everyone the link to where we can see the breakdown of the things that they need to install Dspace. And then I know that not everybody will be able to install Dspace, even if you've been given the opportunity, but at least he was able to just give us more like some of the features or some of the things that you'll be needing to install Dspace on your system. But at least he was able to at least give us a little bit of it. And then he moved on to talk about how to create a top level community, which means the institution itself, which is the top level community. And then we also went ahead to talk about other sub communities, which refers to as the faculties. If it's a polytechnic, you can call it schools, because that's what they call it over there, school. And then there are also collections. Now, collections is more like having different departments under the faculties. I think he was going to move to that part before the whole thing got covered. And then maybe when it comes to it, that's what we're going to be looking at. And then I think he's also going to show us how to upload items into the collection and so many other things too. But we'll go into them. Thank you.
Christian, thank you very much for that. Thank you. Like you just gave exactly what you talked about. Based on the installation, I think he said something like, I think he didn't really go into details because he said something like it it's very technical because of most people here are not really don't really have the technical know-how that guys is going
Exactly.
in depth. Yeah, because
Yeah.
so he said something like the database you have to set up
Yes.
some things and some servers
Yes.
and
So
co. I think yes he placed said
he actually
something
made
like that
mention of that. Yeah, he
on
made mention of that.
yes.
Yeah, because
So
I even
yes,
feel there's no need for him to do that. Sorry for cutting you. I just feel there's no need for him to even go into that, into because it's going to just be wasting most people's time because not everybody will be able to install it, right? So the most
yes,
important thing is that if your institution is going to use this space or you go to an institution that have this space, nobody will tell you as a librarian to come and start installing this space. So it will be installed for you already. It's just for you to go
yes.
there, understand how it works. So, yeah, we'll move on.
Exactly. That's why he didn't go into details. Okay, thank you very much, Christian. Is there any other person that have anything to give us? Maybe you add your observation or anything you feel like you want to say or was not said in class or how you feel. Thank you. Is there no other person? Please, you guys should say something now. Let this be an interactive section while we're waiting for the facilitator to come on board.
Okay, can I come in here?
Yes, please. Yes.
Okay, yeah. Even though I came in late yesterday, I came in when we were discussing about how to reschedule the meeting for today. Okay, but like I said earlier, I work in a university in the library, and we are fortunate to have this space in my university here. It's something that I'm used to working with. But there are some pertinent questions I wanted to ask, but which I think we'll ask much later in the course of the program to the facilitator, because there are some things that I feel we need to clarify when we are talking about open access and free access to use. There are some things that I needed some clarification in terms of copyright and co. So I think maybe when the facilitator comes on and in the course of the lectures, maybe he will come up with some of these topics, especially that has to do with copyright and issue of visibility, issue of how can your this space be marketable. There should be some criteria of how you can draw traffic to your Dspace, to your repository. Because aside from just building one repository and putting it up there, you need to make people see the need to use your repository. What are the things that you need to do to put in place so that you draw traffic to your repository? I think these are some of the things that will need some clarification when the facilitator comes up.
Um, oh, okay. You know what you do for me? Please, can you just this thing I just asked now? Can you just iterate it on the chat section so that I'll write it out for the facilitator, please?
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Any other person? Any other person?
Sorry, please. I want to ask a question. For
Okay.
the last person that just made a comment now, please. I want to know what's the name of your institution, sir?
Bingham University
Okay, so please, where's that?
in Karo, Abuja.
Okay. Oh, Karu, Abuja. Okay. Okay. Anyways, well, the reason I asked is because I mean I also share the same ideas when it comes to your questions. And for for us here in my organization, we also installed this space, and although I've only done just two projects in respect of this space. Yeah, and one is for Yabatech. So the reason why I'm asking is that your question actually just brought something up. Most institutions actually do not even know the reason why they're having that display. They just feel okay, it's just for them to store the whole thing there. But this space also, if you can actually optimize this space, which the facilitator is going to teach us today, probably, yeah, because we're going to ask those questions to how we can optimize it and make sure that our institutions or people outside institutions, especially the researchers, get to come into our own institutional repository and pick out what's it called, document or information, because they are all scholarly documents, and use it for their research and how you can also rank our institutions and all of that. So I think it's actually a very good question. I'm waiting for him to tell us on how to go about that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate your interaction. Please, any other person ask your questions, something you've had in mind for the facilitator thing and you haven't been getting a reply, ask it now, or any observation or anything you feel like you want to add. We are all learning. Thank you.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good
Good afternoon.
afternoon.
Good afternoon. Okay,
Okay, please.
our facilitator.
Can you all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes,
We
we
can
can
hear
hear
you.
you.
Okay. Sorry, please. I'm trying to avoid what happened yesterday because so that I won't be interrupted again. We had power supply just now, and I was somehow confident that it's going to stay a bit longer. But unfortunately, they took the light, so I'm trying to switch to another device. So I want to seek your permission to just give me 3 minutes or 4 minutes to quickly do that so that we can have a seamless presentation today.
Okay.
Permission granted.
Okay. And like when we stop, please, if you are not saying anything, please can you just mute to avoid background noise?
Eh? You sweet, you got you got the washing that I'll flog you. That's what they do for your house. Make I come and come see that because of him. Understand?
Please, though, can we mute? Can we mute? Can we mute if we're not saying anything here? Please.
I'm sorry, please. My name is Dominic Alancha. Sorry.
Okay, Dominic, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming in. So, like we were saying before, I think we just joined. Before we joined, while waiting for the our facilitator, but we cannot just stay idle and just moping, waiting. Anything we have to say regarding to this course, it might not only be the practical part, maybe the theory, anything, any concept you don't understand, or maybe you feel like you had an idea of something like this and it doesn't go well with what your own idea. You can ask questions, bring your observations. You get just to keep the class going until the facilitator comes in. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity once again. Mine has to do with the practical class on the Wikipedia creation of our user account on Wikipedia. I'm still having problem with that, even though I've been able to create an account with Wikidata, but I can't still log in to my Wikipedia with that account. I don't know why I'm having that challenge. I don't know if anyone here is having similar challenge. I can log into the other sister PDFs, but on Wikipedia.
I have a similar challenge. I have a Wikipedia account now, but I cannot log in.
So I don't know what can be done in that regard. Like I said, I can log into the other PDF accounts, Wikivoyage, Wikidata, and co. But Wikipedia itself, I can't still log in with that account.
I think that
Please,
question
can you hear me?
should be directed to Miss Blessing, the facility that is on what group of people in regards to that.
Please, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Okay. So before we continue, I want to quickly answer this particular question about Wikipedia username. Like I said, I think I made an announcement on the platform, and I said that if you're having issues with your username or not being able to join the Wikipedia dashboard, that you should send your username. Immediately after this session, I'm going to resend that message. So just send us your username, or I'll also drop the facilitator number there. So just chat her up privately. She's going to attend to all the issues you have concerning the Wikipedia editing and formatting. Yes, I think that answers your question.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Okay. So continue now.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I think I will need to mute everyone to avoid any form of distraction or background noise. Okay. Please, Miss Mirabe, can you confirm if you can hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. So I think we may need to start from the beginning because of those that were not able to join us yesterday. So the first thing to do is to go to the demo.dspace.org website. However, there's something I want to call your attention to. I'm getting some happens. Okay. So if you type www.demo.dspace.org. Okay, so this is what you are going to get. I remember someone complained about this. So what you need to do is to put HTTPS then demo.dspace.org. Okay, so I want to believe you can see the difference now. Okay, so from here, you need to log in, and like I said yesterday, it's a demo site, and you can log in as a demo site administrator. the demo community administrator, demo collection administrator, and um, demo submitter. So anyone you want to log in with, you are going to use the corresponding email in front of the um, category you want to use. So for the purpose of this class and for the purpose of practicing, we are going to be making use of demo site administrator. So all you need to do is just copy this the email in front of the demo site administrator. Copy, then come to login. Then you paste here. Just paste. Now the password is always Dspace, all in small letter. Oh, sorry. Login. Okay. Okay, now, so this is where we are. Yesterday, I mentioned the functions of all these tools. Okay. So, for the purpose of those that could not attend yesterday, just pay attention to how we are making use of these tools. Okay. Okay. So let's click on community to create our top level community. So yesterday, click on create a top level community. We all agreed to use Kaduna State University. So I'm going to use Kaduna State. State University. So yesterday I said you can include a short description like this is the of it's university, okay, research collections or outputs. Okay. So I said if you have a logo, you can put a logo, or if you don't have, you can still. So this is mine. So I will not be adding that. Yes. Okay. Okay, so successfully created the community. So the next thing to do is to create a sub-community. Yesterday, we mentioned that we should create two sub-community, and we are going to be using faculties to create that. So let's start with faculty of education. To create a sub-community, you come to this plus sign again, a new, click on new, then click on community again. Now, you will not be clicking on the top level community, which is where you are going to click. So just click on Kaduna State University. Yeah. Okay. So just as we did for the top level community, you are going to click we are going to add a sub-community with the name Faculty of Education. Okay. So you can still include a short description. This is let's just put faculty of education. Let's click on save. Okay. Now, successfully created this sub-community. So let's go ahead to create one more sub-community. So let's create Faculty of Science in community. So we are not going to use this, but this is a sub-community. So just search for Kaduna. This is Kaduna State University. Sub-community we are creating now is Faculty of Science. It is always good for you to add, a short description. And this is going to give your user an idea of the type of collections this particular community is holding. So if they are having 100 sub-communities, 10 sub-communities, 20 sub-communities, the description alone will make them a decision of clicking on it or not, or accessing the document therein or not. So it's always important you describe your sub-community. So this is so I am just writing this short text so as to save time. Like I said yesterday, it is very, very important that you design your schema before you start designing uh, your repository itself. It guides you properly on creating a subscripted repository. Okay, so we are done with the sub community. So now the next thing we need to do is to add collections under each of these community. Okay, so under Faculty of Education, which collections are we adding? Is it textbooks written by faculty members under each department? So let's add a collection. Now let's choose under Faculty of Science first. Under Faculty of Science, we have departments, of physics, department of physics. We can still give short description as usual. And data type here is very important. Is it publication? is it project, is it journal, depending on what type of content you want to save there. So let's just assume we want to use this repository to collect projects written by students or um, faculty members of Department of Physics. So I'll go ahead to click on this projects. Now, for this license, you have to define these aspects. It depends on the type of license your organization is having. So if you want people to have complete access to the resources, you state the license guideline, depending on your organization policy. So I'm going to just leave that side and click on save. Okay, so this is what we have here. We do not have, so let's go back to, let's edit our collection. Oh, okay, so let's add more collections. So we don't just have one department. Let's add, before we go to start the collections. So we are still under Faculty of Science. We're under Faculty of Science. Faculty of Science. Okay. So here we have. So let's have Department of Physics. You can still put your short description and define the. So I'm going to just click on save. Okay. So let's create two collections to under Faculty of Education. So go ahead to click on collection. Let's search for Faculty of Education. Let's just think I've typed the right way. The other one is the one we created yesterday. Okay, so for this, let's have departments library. Okay, our data type. That's save. Okay, so successfully created the collection. Okay, so we can still go ahead to create one more collection under faculty of education. So click on collection. And so let's see. Faculty. Faculty of education. Let's create department of business education. Department business education. So let's choose our competitive type. Let's click on save. Okay, so we have successfully created the collection. Okay, so the next thing is to create, add individuals that will be working on the addition. Remember, we said something about workflow. Now, for that workflow, I emphasize the need for continuous review before it gets to the public. Now, the first person that will work on the document is a submitter, followed by an editor, followed by the reviewer, and followed by the final editor, depending on how you wish to arrange it. So like I said, you must have designed your schema, all of these things must have been put into consideration before you start designing your system. Okay, so now before we can add individuals to work on this platform, we need to support and create person. So how do we do that? You come to Okay, so access control. Now, we have two items under access control. We have people and you have group. Now, you can add them individually and you can add them to a group. Now, to add people individually, let's do it this way. Click on people. The group means that for submitter groups, you can add 10 people to the submitters. You can add 5 people to the reviewer. So you can add them to that group. So that is what the group means. So let's go ahead to add people that will be working on the platform. So I'm going to be using my email. So let's go ahead to this. So Elijah. Elijah. Last name as it's then my email address elijah@gmail.com. I want to be able to log in. So great. Okay. Yeah. I think let me just change this email. Okay, so NLM specialized service at gmail.com. And let's change this to uh, last name. NLM library services at gmail.com. It's valid now. And then this email is let's just use our one. All right, let's have gmail.com. Okay, so I don't know if you observe what happened there. There was a space at the end of this Gmail. So the system rejected it until I removed the space. Okay, so let's try to add one more person. Let's add and last name as library. Okay, so let's use this email again. And And then let's try this is let me see if I can use that. Oh, that's me. How do you say all this is? Maybe let's see this. Nice thing. Okay, now not to waste our time with this. Let's work with the one we will successfully create. Okay, so we have keep it let's see if we can have it. The next one is another. Okay, so let's see if we can explore the functions. Okay, so let me just try to open it. Go to panels. Okay, so let's try to see if we can still search. So, person become capital. Okay, so you can search using email, and this is what we get. This is the e-person we added. So if we have added more, you search, you can get it. So let's assign roles to this digital literacy. We want this person to be able to work on the platform. Now to assign role, you come to this edit your collection. Now the most important thing here is that you must assign the role per collections you have added to each category. So this is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so under okay, let's search for that. Yes. Okay, so this is Faculty of Science, Department of Physics. So okay, let's go to the Department of Library and Information Science. Yeah, so this is the collection, first collection we want to assign roles to. So assign roles. Now, this is where you assign role to the e-persons that are working on the system. And so the first role we have here is administrators. So collection administrators decide who can submit items to the collection, edit item metadata after submission, and add existing items from other collection to this collection, subject to authorization for that collection. Now, for submitters, the e-persons and groups that have permissions to submit new items to this collection. That means the submitters can only add items. They can only submit items. They can't edit. Okay, so we have default item read access. So if persons and groups that can read new items submitted to this collection, changes to this rule are not retroactive. Existing items in the system will still be viewable by those who had read access at the time of the addition. So we have default bitstream read access. If persons and groups that can read new bitstream submitted to these collections, changes to this rule are retroactive. Okay, so we have reviewers, we have editors, we have final editors. So I'll always want us to stick to administrator role, submitter role, reviewer role, editors, and final editors. So editors are able to edit the metadata of incoming submission and then accept or reject them. Then final editors are able to edit the metadata of incoming submission but will not be able to reject them. Okay, so we have reviewer also. Reviewer are able to accept or reject incoming submission. However, they are not able to edit the submission metadata. So I hope we have been able to establish the difference between these various roles. So the first one is the administrator. The administrator is the one that assigns rules. You can do the functions of any of the other roles assigned to the persons. The submitters can only, add and only submit new items to the system. They can upload. Then we also have the reviewer. So reviewer can accept or reject the work, submitted by the submitters, but they cannot edit the metadata of the submission. Then we also have the editors. The editors are able to, accept or reject the incoming submission, and they can also make corrections to it. So that means they can check for the typographical error and correct it. But in the case of the final editor will only work on what the editor has done. So they will not be able to reject the incoming work. So they will notify the editor in case of any error for the editor to re-edit and also resubmit to the final editor. So it is the final editor that will now upload to the front end where people can have access to it. So you can see the stages, that the stages are very, very important, because as library and information professionals, it is expected that we validate and revalidate every item we are sending to the public in terms of typographical error or bibliographic information. So now for this particular person, let's just assign the, should we assign the, so I wanted to add 2 people or 3 people so that we can assign each of these roles. So let's just create submitters role. Okay, so let's look for the digital, let's search for digital literacy. Let's search this. So this is where you assign the roles. Let's use. Yeah, so we are having different issues because how to use my phone because of electricity. So just please permit us. Let's have to repeat connection. Oh, prepare live on science. Yes, that is fine. Yeah. Yes, assign. Okay, so here we have having digital literacy. Let's click on this plus sign to add. So you have successfully added this person, digital literacy, as submitter for this particular collection. Okay, so let's go back to see what we've done. Okay, so let's try to add an item here. This is our item. Let's add item. Which one is it? Comment of library on foundational science. Okay, so what it means is that the email we have added will only be able to submit. Now I log in as an administrator, so I may be able to do everything. Let's just say the process of adding content to our repository. So the first thing you do is you choose your file. If let's assume you want to add a book, so let me see if I have any book on my phone. File. Of this. Okay, so let me add policy on performance management system. Okay. Okay. So the upload has been successful. Now you need to work on this. You need to open the document itself to create all of the bibliographic information. So, but for the purpose of this class, we are going to assume some of these items. Let's assume the author is as this. Okay, so another thing for you to know is consistency. There must be consistency in your work. So if you are, writing your author names in this format, the surname, comma, first name and middle name, continue in this line. But if you are writing it as Olawale Elijah Aziz, continue it in that line. Consistency really matters in this work. So aside from author, if there are more author, you can add it. So we have title of the work. So the title of the work is policy on performance management in this document. Copy, paste. So, policy on performance management. Okay. So now we have the date of publication. Let's have 2024. 24. Then our publisher, let's have National Library of Nigeria. Library of Nigeria.